Hello, hello.
Wow. I
Digging
feel
the
like
red on you, Laura D, Sweet D.
what's that?
Digging the red.
It's my power color, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start in like a couple minutes, but in the meantime, I'm just going to soak in. I feel like I'm in a reunion. This makes me so happy. Like especially you, Sean. It's been years. So we got to catch up. This is so fun. Okay. Teresa, hello. You're muted, but that's okay.
Hi, Teresa. Yay. Talk about a reunion.
I know. I know. This is going to be fun. So I'm
Okay,
going to
I'm
give it
unmuted. Sorry. Hi.
hi. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, I would love if you would share like in the chat because like not all of you know each other. I would love if you would share in the chat like where are you calling in from and how you heard about this masterclass. Probably from me. Utah. Amazing. And Shanna, or you could say how you either like how you heard about this or how you know me. I love it. Teresa, I can hear you typing. That means your answer better be good. Binghamton, New York. Sean, yeah, it's been a hot minute. And she says, Laura and I lived together in the past. Yeah. I mean, why don't we do it in the present? Is what I'm saying. Teresa, Oak Island Beach, fellow master coach, adult cheer master coach. Shanna, Sweet D is my play partner. Yes. Yes. If you have followed some of my shenanigans, Shanna sometimes is in there. Like, it's so fun. Okay. Who else? Hey, Cindy. I think Cindy's in here. Anyone else want to share before we get started? Allison, Virginia, Ease in Abundance with AI classmate. Yes. Yes. Amazing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to let people come in as they come in. And I know a lot of people registered. They're going to watch the recording. So for those who are watching the recording, hello. It's good to see you. Please send me a message like, how are you doing? Because I want to feel like a reunion with you too, even though you couldn't make it here personally. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. All of you know me, obviously. And maybe some of you don't. But for those who don't know me, or if you only know me in like a certain capacity, hi, Laura D, short for Laura Dionisio. I am the founder of Lead Intact. And I actually founded this company 4 years ago. And it started off as a passion project. It was never meant to be a full-time thing. It was just kind of like, my heart is in this. I care so deeply about leadership. I've always cared about leadership. I really believe that it's important to see ourselves as a leader instead of waiting for someone to hand us the title. And looking back through my life, both my career, even when I was like an undergrad, I got offered a lot of leadership roles. I didn't really necessarily have to ask. And now I know it's because I have always seen myself as a leader and carried myself differently. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later today too. So you may be wondering why the bold pivot blueprint. I would like to think I'm the queen of pivots. And here's why. I had what I call a cha-cha childhood. I've been pivoting since I was young. What I mean by that is I was born in the Philippines, moved to the US age 4, moved back to the Philippines age 8, and then back to the US age 14. So change became my norm. And as a kid, I kind of felt out of control because obviously I wasn't the one who made the choice to move. But at the same time, I kind of felt good because every time we moved and I navigated the culture, the difference in school, made new friends, I was just like, I'm pretty badass as a kid. I didn't say badass as a kid, okay? My parents didn't raise me to curse. I got that on my own as an adult. Um, but I carried that through as an adult. And my mindset at the time, because change was such a normal thing, and I was like, well, if change is a normal thing, I'm going to control the shit out of it. You know what I mean? I was the person where if I felt a desire, I would go for it. But not only that, but I would have a plan A, a plan B, and then like 10 steps in between. I was just like a major planner. Can anyone else relate to that, right? Like I'm only going to make the change if I can plan all 10,000 steps. Yeah. That was me. And it worked for a very long time. It worked. Like that skill of being able to see it, like the end goal, plan it out, steps 1 through whatever, worked well. And I was always constantly like thinking ahead, very future oriented. What's next? Like literally, I remember even when I moved to Binghamton, Sean, I loved it. And I was just like so in love with the place. I know people think I'm crazy, but it's true. And even then I was like, what's next after this? And what's next after that? Like, it's just right. And I, again, rewarded for it, especially in corporate. You know, me always thinking 2 steps ahead. Like I would report to whoever. They'd be like, wow, she is a go-getter, great thinker, etc. Except I never slowed down enough to ask myself how I felt and if it was something I actually wanted or if it was what I thought I should want. Anybody else? Right? Sometimes when we're so go, 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 it's like, there's no time for feelings. What's that? So it all changed for me, really. Like I would say the most pivotal pivot. I'm going to try to see if I can do like alliterations throughout this masterclass because why not? Um, the most pivotal pivot, really, the starting point of when I started to pay attention to my inner world is about 11 years ago. I got the opportunity. I was living in Southern California at the time. And Sean probably knows the story already. And I got the opportunity to move temporarily to upstate New York, Binghamton. And I was just like, that sounds like fun. And Miss Planner over here couldn't plan it. Why? I mean, it was a temporary relocation assignment. No one knew how long I was supposed to be there for. They wanted me there yesterday, but no one knew what my role was, who I was supposed to talk to. I didn't even have a place to live, y'all. I lived out of my suitcase for 3 weeks, like in a hotel. And at the time, I didn't know it was going to be 3 weeks. It was just like, I don't know. And I had to let go. I didn't like it. Let me tell you what, Miss Control Freak over here. I was like, what? But I had no choice. I had to stay present. I had to slow down because there was nothing else for me to hold on to. There was no next step. I couldn't see beyond that day. And when I did that, I was like, oh shit, I like nature. I forgot. Like, look at how the sun reflects on the snow outside the window. Even I would eat breakfast. I would just take my time, be like, this coffee tastes amazing. Wow, I forgot. I love coffee, right? It was so beautiful. And I wish I could say, and it was all butterflies and flowers. It's not true. Because what happens when you slow down, right? It's not just the happy feelings that come back up. It's all the shit that you've been pushing down. So all that time when I was being a go-getter, planning 10 steps ahead, I was pushing down my fear. I was pushing down my feelings of like, oh, but it has to be perfect, my need to perform. And I learned I had anxiety. I'm like, oh my God, why can't I breathe when I look at my calendar? I started having panic attacks. Can anyone here relate to that? You slow down enough and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Why did I do that? Right? Like maybe that was a mistake. I don't know. Yeah, right. I see a few of you nodding. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, now mind you, this was 11 years ago. I was still very much corporate, very performance driven. My reaction was, I really have to work and look into this personal development stuff because it's impeding my performance. I was like, my career cannot be jeopardized because of my feelings. We can't have that. This is just who I'm being honest with you because I'm just saying if you feel this way, I totally get it because we've been brainwashed in our culture that it's all about performing and who cares about our feelings. Well, that was, and this is why I say it's the most pivotal pivot point because it's the one that really got me to start exploring like what's actually happening within me. How am I feeling? And I started investing time. Like I started looking into, I got really into Myers-Briggs. I got really into the Enneagram. And then I found the adult chair, Michelle Chalfant. A few of you on here know because you're certified like me. And like the more I started working on myself, getting curious, I was like, oh, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. And I started noticing that I started feeling better and I started performing better at work. At this point, I stopped doing it for the purpose of being a better performer. I was just like, this feels good. I'm going to keep doing this. So then I started to make the connection. Oh, the more I work on myself, the better my overall life is. It's not a separation of this is me, work life, and then the inner world. Let's just shove it down and pretend it doesn't exist. So I just kept investing in myself. And then I would say the first bold pivot, not in a career standpoint, I've done a lot of that too, was when I decided to invest in myself to become a life coach through adult chair coaching. That was crazy because, again, I was still very corporate, very like, I was just like, what does this have to do with anything? But there was something in my heart that was like really calling out to it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to say yes to me. And so that time I invested not only time, but like I invested money in myself because I'm like, I am worth it. I probably invested at that point like close to 20K, which at the time was just like, ugh. But let me tell you, I wouldn't have found this passion. I wouldn't have founded Lead and Tack if I didn't do it. I wouldn't have been able to help like the number of clients I've helped, even just having this as a passion project, if I didn't say yes to me, if I didn't invest in me, both time and money. And then most recently, because, you know, this journey never ends, I've done, again, a lot of career pivots, but most recently, I decided to invest in myself even more because I could feel it. I was like, this was when I was still in corporate. I could feel it. I was like, whew, something's not right with the way I'm living. And I've done pivots before on my own. And what would it be like if I could be supported? So I invested in six-figure coaching, private coaching. And when I tell you, my stomach and my butt were like, hey. But my heart opened and blossomed because my heart was like, finally, yes, yes. And I started thinking about all the times I invested in other things like college, that's several hundred, my house. And I'm like, why not me? Why not me? And I have to say, out of all the pivots I've done in my life, and it's been a lot, including the one in childhood, doing this latest pivot of me deciding to leave corporate felt the easiest and the best because I said yes to being supported. Because it's like, oh, if I really want more for myself, then I need to give myself more. I need to allow myself to receive more. And so through that support, when I got real honest with myself and I asked myself, what do I really want? I was just like, okay, it's time. It's time for me to leave corporate and it's time for me to say yes to me. Thank you. I'm seeing oh my God, these emojis are so fun. So it wasn't, I'm here to walk you through like the process. It wasn't like I woke up one day and I was just like, fuck this shit. No, that's not, it's not what happened. It's a process. I don't believe in making rash decisions. That's never been me. I believe in making bold decisions, but I believe in like really sitting with yourself and like integrating like what your heart is telling you and then using the mind to support. How can I make this happen? Not out of like fear, out of what you think is possible, but what you trust can be possible. All right. So who's ready to learn about the bold pivot blueprint? I love this. Okay. Yes. All right. Let me share my screen. Because you know me, I love a good graphic. Like, is it a Laura presentation if there's not a good graphic? The answer is no, by the way. Okay. Do presentation mode. Can y'all see that? Just give me like a thumbs up. All right. Awesome. Awesome. I can only see 2 of you here. So if you have a question, just like speak up or put it in the comment. I only see Shannon and Teresa. So you both of you better give it. No pressure. I'm just kidding. Allison, why are you doing a thumbs down? You want me to see you? Well, your camera's off. I can't see you if you want me to see your face.
Oh, sorry, that was a blooper.
Oh.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Sorry.
It's all good.
I'm trying to find the fire emoji for you, and I accidentally clicked the thumb.
She was like, no, I want to be seen. Well, you got to turn your camera on. Okay. I love this. Okay. Here we go. The bold pivot blueprint is 2 steps. Number 1, I so deeply believe in this. You have to see yourself as the leader of your life. Like you have to, because if you are approaching life like I don't have a choice, I have to be in this job that makes me so deeply unhappy because I got bills to pay, people are responsible, like I'm responsible for so many people. That's a very disempowered place to be. Now, I'm not saying that those things, that there's no truth to that, but I'm inviting you to like even make a slight switch. Instead of like, I have to, I'm stuck. I choose to. I choose to stay in this job. And yes, I'm unhappy. Both things can be true, but it's a choice. Now, why is that important? I'm not saying you need to say that to feel shame or feel guilt, right? That's not the point. The point is if you're saying I choose to versus I have to, that means you get the choice to choose otherwise, right? Step 2, take aligned intentional action. So from the place of I am the leader, like I know what I want, you go take aligned action from there. Don't take action from the place of fear or have to, or oh my God, or scarcity. I mean, it doesn't feel good. Have I done it? Yes. Shanna, yes. You're saying yes, or do you have a question?
No, what you're saying here by plugging in a different word totally shifted the energy of I have to versus oh I choose to. Like the leadership energy totally shifted when you changed those 2 words for me.
Right? It makes you just be like, yeah, maybe I'm not happy right now, but I'm choosing the situation, which means I can choose otherwise. Thank you. Okay, that's the end of the talk. No, I'm kidding. Can you imagine? I'm totally kidding. That's not. Why can't I be serious? Okay. All right. There's actually multiple steps between like step 1 and step 2, because I mean, my background, I didn't mention this when I was introducing myself. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Mary, I just have to give you a quick shout out. Whenever you respond to my things on Instagram, like it makes me so happy. Like, thank you so much for your support. I never take any of that for granted. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay. So step 1, see yourself as a leader of your life. What does that mean? Right? I remember like I listened to a talk by Trevor Noah, somebody I like really admire. He was giving a talk at Johns Hopkins University. And he said something like, you're a leader only if you're leading people. And I'm like, I don't like that. What do you mean? Because, and this is a little bit adultery language, but we all have parts within us. Anyone ever have like a conversation with themselves? Yes, I want to buy that, I don't know, like say you're like trying to be on a diet. I want that ice cream. No, you shouldn't have that ice cream. Why? It tastes good only for today, right? So yeah, be the leader of all your parts. So I don't like that definition, but then it made me think about what definition do I like? Like what does resonate with me? And so this is what I came up with. This is the lead and tack model. To me, a leader is someone who has awareness, accountability, and takes aligned action. So what does that mean? Awareness. Get real about what you want and how you feel. Right? This is honestly, in my opinion, the hardest part. It's hard to admit what we want because we're programmed to think we can't even want the thing unless we know how to get there. Anyone else feel that way? Right? So get real without getting attached to, oh, what I can't even allow myself to want it unless I have a plan forward. I get it. That's been me for years. Just say, I want the thing, period. End of story. You don't necessarily have to take action right this minute, but just admit it. What do you actually want? And how do you feel now? And how would you like to feel? That's awareness. Get real about like what your inner world, like what's happening in there. And then the second part is accountability. Notice your role in your current judgment without, or in your current situation without blame or judgment. So like what I was going through, honestly, just a couple months ago, when I got real with myself, I was just like, I'm not happy at my job. And what's my role? This is the accountability part. Like Shanna, this is what I was saying. I choose to be here. And I'm not like, and I suck because I did. No, there's none of that. It's just, I'm choosing to be here. There are many other ways I could pay the bills. but I'm choosing this because at the moment, this is what makes sense and I'm unhappy about it. Fine. I'm going to own that. Fine. And then from there, you're going to take aligned action, move forward with clarity and intention. So when I thought about this further, I realized that aligned action, like I like to slow down even there. I don't want to just take an action because if I don't slow down the process of what's the right action to take, then I might go from like the accountability piece. I'm unhappy because I'm choosing to be in this job. Aligned action, quit my job. I mean, that is what ended up happening for me, but there was a process that I went through before I made that decision. Okay, before I move on, any questions on this part? No?
I just agree with Shanna that I making a choice rather than looking at it as something I should do is totally shifts the energy and it feels empowering. So yeah, that really resonated with me as well.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Okay. All right. A lot of you already know this because this is my favorite model to teach, honestly. Step 2, take aligned intentional action. This is what I call my why, what, how framework. Love this framework. I use it for everything. Everything. So this is how you know how to take aligned intentional action. We're going to start with why. Get clarity on why you want to do this. This is your anchor. This is how you want to feel when you make your choice. Like I mentioned earlier, being in fear and scarcity is not where I want to make my choice. Is that right? That sounds like an awful time. When I make my choice, I want to feel empowered no matter what the choice is. Even if the choice is to continue to stay. It's not about what the choice is, it's about how you feel. So in the context of career pivots, life transitions, that kind of thing, I like to ask the question of what makes you look forward to getting up each day? What is it? And I'm curious. You can write it in the chat or go off mute. Just if I ask that question, really reflect back on it. What is what gets you up in the morning? And don't say your alarm clock. Anyone?
I'll say, I enjoy the stretches that I do before I start my day. So I look forward to getting into my stretches, like into my body physically. And then the breakfast routine that I'm on right now, I look forward to feeding my body that food. It's like a little kid at Christmas time. I get so excited because of how it makes me feel before I even start the day. And so that's what gets me out of bed right now is looking forward to those stretches and that food.
I love that. And notice how it has nothing to do with your life circumstance, your job, or anything, right? It's the little things. And let's see. Sean says, thank you for sharing, Shanna. Sean says, first thought and statement to my dog is, look, we get oh my God, that's beautiful. Look, we get another day. I love that. Sean, I have a similar motivation. My cats are older and I look forward to when I wake up and they're both like next to me. It does make it hard to get up. I'm not going to lie. I do eventually get up. Obviously I'm here. But yes, that is my motivation. And Teresa, I see that you're unmuted.
Oh, I just typed it in the chat, but I
Okay.
have that same, I look forward to, I have a tea that I love in the morning and doing yoga and journaling. So that's what really, I love that morning time to start my day.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. And Allison says, my liquid IV and feeding my pup. I am going to ask you about the liquid IV offline because I'm curious and I have no idea what that is. Like I'm imagining you going, psh, but I'm pretty sure that's not the right image. If it is, I'm really curious. Okay. This is me getting distracted. This is what a Laura talk is like. Okay. So here's the thing. Oh, Jenny. And Jenny, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Inspiration and curiosity about what the day will hold with clients and how I can be of service to them, which in turn reflects inspiration within myself. I love it. Cindy says, coffee and my mantra. I am open to miracles today. Okay, love it. Okay, Allison says hydration and electrolyte powder. Okay, so it's not an IV, like, good. I was kind of concerned. I'm not going to lie. Like, who looks forward to injecting themselves? Not you. Okay. All right. I love this. These are amazing. And for those of you watching the recording, respond back to the email and tell me what's your why for getting up in the morning. And what I love about what I learned from Michelle Chalfant, Adult Chair, is that while it's nice to reflect and use your mind to like give verbiage to what your why is, I have found in years teaching this that it's even simpler than that. It's how it feels in your body. So when you start thinking about what's my next move, my next life pivot, my next job, is this the right job? Should I stay in this job? Should I move? Always remember that why. If you have like a symbol or a phrase or a single word, something simple, write it down like Cindy did. Write it down. Put it on a Post-it. I'm a Post-it person. This is mine. You know, badass. That's my why. But just as a reminder, something that'll help you get in here quickly, but also this session is recorded, so you can always come back to the meditation. I also have a Find Your Why meditation on YouTube. Okay. From this place, right? We're all feeling relaxed and calm. Step 2, clearly define what problem you're trying to solve without trying to figure out the how. Now, why am I stating it as a problem? Because sometimes when we are in that transition, like the edge of transition, it's easier to see the problems than what the goal is. As an example, when like right before I made the decision to leave corporate, I didn't know that like the goal is to leave corporate. No, what I saw was I'm unhappy, my energy is drained, and I am not wanting to go to bed because I so badly don't want to wake up in the morning because I so badly don't want to go through my day. Right? So think about it that way. Like whatever narrative you're saying, write it down. Now, if you don't resonate with the problem language, then go ahead and switch this to clearly define what your goal is. But same thing, don't try to figure out how. That's not the step here. Now, this step is super important. This step is where you really, really need to slow down. So in my case, what did I just say? I said my problem is I'm unhappy. My energy is so low and I don't want to wake up because I don't want to go through my day. Cool. And let's get specific. Why am I unhappy? What is making me unhappy? So when I thought about it, I was like, oh, I'm in a lot of meetings, y'all. Like too many meetings to the point where I'm in a meeting and doing work. That makes me so unhappy because I can't split my energy like that. Nobody can, but I really can't. Oh, okay, cool. And again, we're not looking at solutions yet. We're just clearly defining. But notice how that's like a more clearly defined solution or like problem than I'm unhappy. If you try to go from the what of I'm unhappy to how, you won't get the best aligned solution, right? So this is the part where you get to get clearer and more specific about what is it? What is the problem you're trying to solve? Okay. And then the other thing, I don't have energy these days. Okay. Well, I know another problem is but that's contributing to that is that I'm sleeping really late at night and it messes up my whole day. Okay, cool. Not trying to write a solution right away, but I'm getting clear. So any questions so far on that? Like this is the most, it's not the most important step, but it is the step that you need to take the most time in to get really clear. Okay. And you may notice that I have this always reassess and realign with why. The moment I start to feel that my energy and my heart is going like this, go back to your why, get back in that state before you continue. That's super important because otherwise it's not going to feel good. Go ahead, Teresa.
Yeah, I just had a question. When I think about my why, and then, so when you were explaining the what, it was more about what the problem is or what you're currently facing, not so much about what you want to do. Is it more, if you could just...
It's either way.
Okay.
So for me, well, this is because, again, engineering background, I tend to think of things in terms of problems because I like solving problems.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, sister.
Yeah. But if you already know what your goal is, right? Like say my goal is to find a job that makes me happy, then you can have that as your what. That's just rephrasing what I said, but like in a goal
Okay.
oriented way.
That's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, David. Good to see you. It's been a while. Actually, you're probably the one I've seen the most or most recently. Okay. So once you get more specific about the what, whether you name it through problem statements or in goal language, then you go into the why. I mean the how. You brainstorm the next steps, no perfection needed, meaning you don't need to have 10 steps already figured out, just possible solutions. This is important, without attachment. Without attachment. I used to write in every plan that I made, don't get attached to the plan. This is important. We want a plan so that we are like moving towards something, but we don't want to get attached to the plan. Got it? And honestly, like sometimes when I can feel, again, you're reassessing and realigning, right? Constantly. Don't get attached to the solution. Make sure that it still matches the problem or the goal that you're trying to go for. What I like to do sometimes is if I'm having a hard time staying in this why energy while I'm like brainstorming solutions, I put a timer on, like a 5-minute timer, something like that. And I start with like the craziest solutions ever. So let's say that my goal is to be happier at my work. I will start with like the most insane possible solution. Like, okay, cool. A possible solution is I win the lottery. Right? Start there. That helps me. Why? Because then it becomes fun. It becomes not so serious. Like you don't have this, I must figure out the steps. And then your mind and your brain is more primed to use your imagination.
I've been buying lottery tickets lately. I'm just saying.
I mean, I might buy one after this call. Why not? And I want to open the floor for any questions. If you have a specific coaching question, if you're like, how can I apply this why, what, how now? I'm gonna open the floor to that.
Hey, Laura.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Long time
Yeah.
no see. What's up? How can I
Been a
help?
minute, No, first I'd like to commend you for, doing lead and tag. I think I reached out during your early stages. I was trying to do some correspondence with a couple people about leadership and, how to do things and everything else. That kind of fell by the wayside just because the life happens. But I'm glad that you're able to build this and start off with this. And I was going to say that the finding your why reminded me of a lesson I learned while I was traveling in Europe, right? One of the things I discovered is that when you find yourself in a situation that you've never been to, you're unsure of, and you're not sure what to do next, go back to what you do know and go from there. So because I like constantly got lost in Europe. I was in a country I didn't know anybody. I was by myself. Then I didn't speak the language. So yeah, I just figured out like, okay, where am I at? Find my bearings, like, and in life, the why is, the purpose is the guiding star, so
Exactly. Yeah.
no, I mean, and don't get me wrong, my why admittedly is family. Unfortunately, things have changed and things are dynamic and things are moving, but I do see myself doing other things as well, you know and then also I don't know, have anyone in here heard about the four lenses? No. Okay, so it's a exercise that I actually do with other people as well, but I did it when I was in the military. It's the idea that you get to see your perspective of how you see things in the world. It talks about four colors: gold, orange, green, and um, blue, right? And what I see you as, Laura, is actually green. Someone who's very logical, someone who's very pragmatic, someone who actually sees step by step, has to go back to
Yep.
a logical step. Relationships are important, but not. They have a purpose. I'm the opposite. I'm a blue. It's more about people. It's more about relationships. I mean, don't get me wrong. It can be logical, but mine is more towards like family and friends, and sense of relationships. So at the end of the day, it's just another thing that I would recommend people to look at as well, because in dealing with other people, you get to see not necessarily their why, but then also how they see the world, you know,
Yeah. I
and
love
how,
that. Thank you so much for sharing, Ismail.
yeah.
And yeah, if you want to chat more, go ahead and book a call. Would love to catch up with you too. Allison,
Okay.
thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. Does anyone else have a coaching question or biggest takeaway? Or better yet, what is the next thing you're going to do at the end of this call? What have you been inspired to do? Go ahead, Teresa.
Yeah, I really like the intentional aligned piece of what to do next, because as I think back on my career, I think there was a lot of steps I took, but I don't know that it was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And really understanding, I've done well, but so that really, I really locked into that. Yeah, so that's a big piece, is and aligned, of course, right? Aligned, intentional. So
Yes.
that was one of the big takeaways for me. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Go ahead, Sean. You are muted.
I unmuted yet?
Yes, there you go.
All right. Yeah, that's very funny that you called on me, because it's just, so I had the most amazing career of anyone in the world for the last 22 years. And that is to be the parent to Allison and Sammy. Oh my gosh. But now Sammy just graduated high school, and I find myself in this place of limbo where I have all of this amazing experience, all of this amazing ability. I mean, won't get into what I've been doing for the past 4 years for his school and all the rest, and the arts and everything else. But that 21-year gap in paid workforce is quite a little leap to get over. And it doesn't matter how you position your resume, they know that you graduated from college when you graduated, in and around, So yeah, sometimes it's not just a career pivot. It's not just, it is truly for me. And I think that's why worth came up, because I have been I'm a professional volunteer. That's what I've been for 22 years now. And acquired a lot of skills and have a lot to offer. And I think, I don't know if it was Teresa or one of the other people on the call said, understanding your own worth and getting paid to whatever it is that you're doing. Not a different, not altogether different than where I'm at now.
Yeah. Sean, I love that. And I will say, it starts with what you believe is possible. So if you're saying it's not possible to hide it in my resume, that gap, if you are seeing it as a gap, instead of I've been doing some amazing things and these are my skills, that's the experience you're going to have. And so like, this is why I believe step one is so important. You have to see yourself as a leader. You have to know it's possible. You have to know your worth.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I left engineering. So you know Oliver, obviously, because we're all in the same gym community. I don't know if you know this piece, but I actually left engineering. I was living in Southern California at the time, and I wanted to live in Binghamton because they wouldn't let me work remote at the time. This was 11 years ago. Remote wasn't a thing. And I was just talking to Oliver about it. And he was like, we could use your skill set. Let me offer you a job. He didn't even look at my resume, Sean. I have no experience. He's in the life insurance industry. If I had the belief that, oh, but I'm not enough because I don't have the direct experience, how am I going to move? I didn't have the funds either to move cross country. Are you kidding me? If I didn't have the belief that, yes, I have the skills, yes, I'm worth it, then I wouldn't have advocated for myself. And I wouldn't have inspired Oliver to advocate for me. Now, obviously, like you have to bring it, which I know you, Sean, you've been bringing it, right? So like, even that simple reframe, it's not a 23-year gap in your resume. It's a 23 experience in all these different skill sets. And I volunteer a lot too. So I know what it takes, and it's not just showing up. And knowing you, you're not just showing up. You're not one to just show up and be like, la, la, la. That's not you. I bet you're the one organizing, reaching out. You've probably done things that weren't in your resume or in your degree. That's a skill, right? So it really, like, your why with the worth, right? Like, I would encourage you to really like lean into that and see yourselves through that lens. And from there, imagine what the possibilities could be for what's next. You're going to come up with a whole different set of ideas versus if you think about, oh, well, I have a 23 gap or year gap or whatever, like I can only be a barista at Starbucks, which I think is really hard. I wouldn't be able to do it. But my point is, like, you would be limited to what you think is possible if you don't first set yourself up as, no, I'm the leader of my life. I'm worth it. I'm badass. I know I'm worth it.
Thank you for that. And that kind of just brings me back to like the full circle of where you began, of saying that I choose to be a
Yes.
volunteer, and because if I can pivot the what the resume looks like from a person who has gaps, or a person who has been a career volunteer or stay-at-home mom or a church volunteer or a PTA president, like, ew, right? Like those things in and of themselves could say, cuckoo, we don't want this person, you know, to be a part of us. But if I can say, rather, I chose to leave my professional, to leave corporate, American Express Financial Advisors at the time, I chose to leave corporate in an effort to instill proper values, and not proper values, but the values that I hold dear in my children. And then all of the different things that we had to do running around the country for a year and a half on tour and all the rest. Yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And one last thing with the resume thing, because my first pivot from my first career, I did the whole send out your resume, 10 a day. It felt like shit. Okay. It did. And by the time I finally got a job offer, I was so in like this. I didn't know this process back then, obviously. I didn't even like advocate for myself. I just took what they offered because I thought that's what I was worth. Right. And what I've learned since then, literally, other than that one pivot, I've only applied once, or sometimes I didn't even have to apply and the job was offered. Why? And this goes back to Ismail. Like, I used to be very data-driven, process only, but I realized in my growth, relationships are the most important. And Sean, I know you. I know your energy. Like, for you, your greatest gift is not in look at my pretty resume. You know, of course, spend time, sure, I guess. But it's more about like, who do I know in my, first of all, what do I actually want? Like, the no limitations, knowing I'm a badass and I'm worth it. What do I actually want? From there, who can I talk to? And just start talking about it. Like, I mean, Teresa knows this. We meet like every other week. I've been talking about my business for a long time, and I've been practicing. It's scary. I've been talking about, even before I decided to lean full in, I've been calling myself a career coach for like years to practice. But also, you'll be surprised how many people will support you and be like, of course, Sean, of course, let me connect you to this person, to that person. So I'm excited for you, Sean. Can't wait to hear what's next.
Thanks so much.
All right. I have time for one more, and then we're going to end this amazing call. Any questions about the program? Please book a call with me. I'd love to hear from you. Any questions about anything I taught today, or biggest takeaway or aha? Thank you, Cindy. All right. With that, thank you all for being here. Thank you for those watching the recording. You have been amazing. I hope this has been so helpful. Please do book a call. Let's talk, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Laura. Lovely.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.